computer. Hi, I'm Patti Napolitano with Wellness Cleveland, and today we're blazing ahead in the very metal open educational resources of making all these available on YouTube. So I just stop losing them every year since we've done this for a few years and we have not had copyright issues. All right. Chapter 7, Helper Studio. Watch the video and then appropriately use knowledge and theory in responding to Marty. Be sure. Okay, this is complicated. This is a good practice. Positive alternatives in place of counterproductive communication patterns. Okay. I'm responding to Marty. Do you see that with a capital M? I'm suspicious. What's going on, Marty? Can we go back? I don't really believe in myself here that we're going to be able to find what we need to in this video or in this window. Oh, that was shocking. Okay, chapter 1, chapter 3. We're going to chapter 7. 1, 2. We're only going to have to move a couple more videos. Going to. That's where he is, chapter 7. And we have to, hold on, a couple more windows. Show, hidden, and edit. That means that we are going to show how I practice what I learned, and we're going to open this one. We have to hide. Hide. We want you available and then hide. Okay, so you're showing Marty. We see you, girl, boy, Marty. What's with all the white men? Okay, white people in Vietnam vet in his late 60s, homeless, receives limited assistance from the VA, drinks to sleep, but has disturbing dreams. Play, let's go, Marty. I'm out of tea. I don't know how to do this.
My name's Marty, and the reason I'm here goes back to around 1966. The real problem started a couple of years later when I got home. That's when the dreams started, and dreaming about some of the guys I was over there with, and the dream goes like, "How did you get out of there? How'd you make it back?" And I really don't think that I'm the lucky one for making it back. I feel guilty about it. And I try to tell them, maybe you're better off where you're at than here where I'm at, because, it's not that great of a life. People didn't trust us when we came back. They didn't want us to be here. To tell you the truth, I didn't trust them either. You think you're going along and everything's going along like normal, but you never know when the deal's going to go down. The only two friends I really have in this life is my buddies Jim and Jack. Mr. Beam and Mr. Daniels.
Yeah, I thought that was it.
That's the only way I'm getting any sleep, is from help from those guys. Of course, that leads me into other problems that I've had. I've been kicked out of every relationship I've ever been in, kicked out of every organization, every apartment. Haven't had a driver's license in 20 years. Point is, I've tried so many times in the past, been in, VA groups. VA gives me a little bit of money to survive, but, what's surviving these days? I got enough money to, entertain my friends, and my only two friends, and that's about where all my money, it's about all my money will stretch to. When it comes to getting a roof over my head, I just go wherever I can find it. Can't afford no apartment, and so I just sleep wherever I can. I really just kind of want to forget all this happened, but it's really hard to do because the dreams. I'm just trying to be normal, just trying to find a normal life. And that's the reason I'm here, hoping that you can help me find that, if there is such a thing.
Okay. So drag the puzzle piece into place. Here's the question. Would physical attending apply in this case, working with Marty? Did anyone think that physical attending might be the focus of that? I didn't. Okay. Would physical attending, so we're talking about not what I was doing. Did anyone watch me and think like, wow, that lady loves her job? Probably not, right? Did anyone watch me doing that and say, that patient is really lucky to have had that social worker? Okay, so we're going to say yes, physical attending would apply in this case. Specifically, Marty told you, okay, I only want you to talk about what Marty told you, right? Because we're responding to Marty. We're not responding to the Vietnam War. We're not responding to the VA. We're not doing that. We're talking to Marty. And Marty said, what about physical response? He's talking about a very specific response to Vietnam soldiers when they came home, which is in verbal and nonverbal attitudes towards what people had seen, right? So Marty's got a really high, regardless of what military, what theater, what culture he's coming down into, he's telling you, I have a really high hypervigilance to people judging me for being a veteran. How high? He's every single relationship in his life has been ruined by his drinking because he cannot relax without it. He needs a drug to calm him down. He's so distressed by people's reactions or his ideas of their perceptions to him. So he definitely wants to feel like you're invested. So what would I be doing? If I was talking to Marty and I was doing all the things that I'm doing when these videos are going, he would not have kept talking. He would have set off, right? And I would have had to be like, oh my God, I'm not even paying attention to your response. You're right. What would help you feel the most comfortable and like I am the most respectful for you? Because I am trying to make sure my blanket is covering my lap so I can like kind of sit crisscross applesauce and be comfortable. I don't want you to think I'm fidgeting because I'm uncomfortable with you. I have a lot of pain. It seems like you have a lot of ways, like the way I move around makes me uncomfortable. There's things that you feel uncomfortable when people are watching you with, right? I'm going to note his response to me and I'm going to directly ask him about physically attending, like, how can I seem welcoming? When I talk to Vietnam vets over and over and over and over again, they say, please don't thank me for my service, say, welcome home. So I happen to love that word. I want you to really think about it. Do you see how I'm really thinking about physically attending what I might want to do? That's what I just want you to write very simply. All right. What steps could you take to ensure your verbal and non-verbal response choices are the right ones? Be prepared. Take some deep breaths to make sure I am prepared to intentionally mirror, considering This patient expresses high levels of stigma. So that's trauma-informed care. Is this person is telling me I like to be handled with kid gloves. And I say to you, thank you for letting me know, because I want to make sure that I'm setting you up for a successful interaction here. How can I be on your team? How can I seem welcoming? How can I be on your team? How can I make you feel comfortable and settled? What might the impact be if you were to engage in a productive communication with Marty? Admit fault. These reflection questions in Cengage are about to disappear. Do I want to cut, copy, and paste? Okay. I want to cut here. I want to admit fault. What do I mean by that? They said, they said you have to be positive because he's so negative. Barf. Who said that? Why is that in the syllabus? It's an excellent strategy. I'm not going to lie. Okay, physical attending. So it's not helpful for me to start out by saying, like, listen, I got to tell you, it's bullshit. The first thing I got to ask you, which is what I want to say. Be sure your response substitutes positive alternatives in place of counterproductive communication patterns. So I want to reflect and I want to select what I reflect. He told me all the terrible things about the VA. It sounds like the VA has not been an accessible partner for you so far. Positive alternatives. I am not throwing solutions at this dude. The counterproductive. What else did he say? Family no go. When we aren't part of a tribe, the way we eat, sleep, watch TV, plan showers, it all falls on us. And we are social creatures. That is an open door, folks. And I want you to be talking about what meals people eat with other people. And there are specific kinds of meals that happen when you live outside. Meals, showers, TV, sleep, healthcare, all those things are different when you live outside. Okay, same answers. Are we done? We're not done. Now we need to record a video. And I'm going to record using my notes with this extremely strong, welcoming start with as few filler words as possible, a rate of speech per minute, because I don't like that the AI checks it and I don't know what's ideal. Is 163 fast? I don't know. That's what it said on my last two. Marty, welcome. It sounds like the VA has not been an accessible partner for you so far. And that to me sounds like the military, as a matter of fact. There's a form for that, and you were supposed to have known last week and it wasn't filled out right. Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of services you have not been able to access. Not being a military vet, I only have secondhand military veteran paperwork trauma. I can imagine that there are a lot of people who have been directly unwelcoming to you. And so now someone like me, without meaning to, might seem unwelcoming in the things that I do. Like some people are offended and think I don't take things very seriously, that I wear these headbands when I record things. But I'll tell you what, Logan Paul and Jake Paul danced in their living room on the internet. And they are millionaires. And I have been slaving away for next to nothing for so long for you to tell me that I can't just wear a headband that I like. However, for someone like you, it may make you feel like I'm not taking you seriously. So, what do you think? Do we like costumes or not? When I wear them to the retirement home, my patients tend to like them, but a lot of staff wear them there. Up here, yay, nay. Okay. Well, I don't take myself too seriously, but I know a lot of workers do, and the VA does. And I hear from you a lot of like family things and loss and ways that the system has failed you. And when we're not part of a tribe, the way that we do everything, it's very heavy and it can be on our own. There's also ways that people, share meals or share resources when they do live outside or they are homeless. Are there people you eat with? Are there things that we can build around that are social structures, social strengths? I want to apologize if I seemed like I was a little bit silly. I am a little bit silly, only out of a desperate attempt not to fall into despair. I know that working with the VA and working with people who have slipped through the cracks of the VA, it's a heavy job because I know people will fall through the cracks too. So I do try to bring levity, but if there's ways that you ever need to check me, give me a 2 finger, give me a 3 finger, give me a rock, give me a whatever. I will not be offended. And I'm really happy to change lanes. Check. Prepare it. It's not done. Now that we're done with Marty, we only have one left. I had to slide a puzzle piece on my TikTok. I think just to make sure I was still on there. I'm sorry. I don't think I've said hello to anybody. I'm not inviting anyone to co-host with me. It's entirely too boring. Gonna show you how it's done, done, done. I hope that this one wasn't 20 minutes. I did go on for a little bit. That's why it's buffering and taking a while. Submit. And then it's done. There's a rubric available. That means that you can grade one another. There's an AI analytic. See, speaking rate. Let's see how I did per minute. I started slow to see if it would mess with it a little bit. Now I'm going to show you 163. Oh, well, it's green. There were still 20 filler words. There were 3 unclear words. So stressing out about the filler words, I used the same number of filler words and I increased my unclear words to 3. I love myself anyway. All right, go. That's it for chapter 7. We have one more.